right?
We did a report on women in manufacturing and how it's at its lowest level ever, while we're starting to see an increase in these kinds of jobs and an increase in the skills needed. Our factory floor managers pull me aside literally and say, how can we get more girls into this field? And we all know that's about science, technology at elementary and above, but it's also having them actually visualize these jobs and see the products that they can make and what the working conditions are like, because they're no longer, as came out at the hearing I had with Congressman Brady this morning, they're no longer the 3Ds, dirty, dark, and dangerous. That there has been huge changes in the way
this is a big deal. I mean, for those of you who are watching online and following this, the Joint Economic Committee put out a report on women in manufacturing, and Senator Klobuchar chaired the hearing on this, and it just opens up. It's pretty amazing that over the last few years we've added about 530,000 manufacturing jobs to the sector. But women have lost 28,000. So we've added essentially 550,000 male jobs and no women in the sector. What's going on?
Well, part of this was when you look at the worst of the downturn, sometimes they called it a man session. Men lost more jobs because of construction. I would just guess, not being an economist, but that the men were available to fill some of the jobs when they opened up. The women's jobs tended to stay a little steady, not saying that women didn't lose jobs. But then there's also this issue of just the cultural fact that women look for other jobs. They don't see this as a career they'd want to go into, but at the same time, the wages are really high. We cannot find a welder right now for AGCO in Jackson, Minnesota. There are all kinds of possibilities here, and the women that do it, it's really fun to see. They think it's super cool. I mean, the ones that move up in a company on the manufacturing floor, that get extra skills to run the robotic equipment. So I think it's just changing, and it takes time. You look at that. I asked the witnesses today if they read Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg's book, and most of them had read it. And you look at those numbers and how they need to change. It's not just about manufacturing. It's about the boardroom and the CEO level and other things. So I just think we're not using a big part of the talent we have in this country in some of these positions, and that includes in manufacturing. So we have a great opportunity.